also another thing, when we are talking about innovation and eco-innovation, it's very important to know what influences the eco-innovation. And we can see studies show that compliance with environmental regulations is very important, and increased market share is another important fact. And it's different between countries, how the impact of compliance versus market share is influencing the innovations or the companies and the innovativeness of the companies. But what is important is to know that it's not enough for the politicians to put on the regulations and requirements on the industry and hope everything is going to be fine, because they also have to create the other part, or the consumer part, or the society, to be acceptable for the new technology, new way of living, new way of what we as a member of the society, I have to pay maybe more for a product that is more environmental friendly. And another thing is, for example, related to waste. There are requirements of that you can recycle things, etc., etc. And I have experienced myself, it's very difficult for me to be part of that because I have to drive many kilometers in a way to get rid of the garbage. So that one thing is to be innovative and create something, new products and processes, but the politician has also to create the awareness related to the regulations in the society to make it successful. So we can say that the industry as such is not necessarily the bottleneck for new environmental friendly or eco friendly products or systems or services. Often it's the society itself, it's not ready to take the new things. I will now mention how we as the Nordic Innovation Center, how we define the innovation, because we are not looking at eco-innovation or we look at innovation in a very broad aspect. So eco-innovation is just one thought or one definition of innovation that we are also working with. But this also reflects what I mentioned earlier, that innovation has to be something that creates commercial success and or other value to the society. And that we are not only talking about products, we are talking about processes and new organizational structures. And I think it's very interesting, for example, now we are talking about the management of fisheries. As far as I can see, I think we have to be very innovative and we have to cooperate in transatlantic area in order to come up with a solution that we have the best or good fishery management system. And I think that is also innovation and be innovative. And we should also focus on such projects as projects that we can touch upon, which is like more common way to think about innovation. And here again I will address that we are not able to finance, for example, basic research, but more projects that come into the applied research, and then the industry has to be a very good representative in the projects as such. The Nordic Innovation Center, we have two pillars in our strategy, and one thing is the entrepreneurial and innovation capacity of the industry or the services or the businesses in the Nordic countries. And another is that we have, or the Nordic countries, they are trying to remove barriers, both when we are talking about businesses or companies, or we are talking about human resources, for example. And we have a focus area when we are trying to come up with ideas how we can establish the Nordic region as a single market. And I think that is also very important, and that there we have, there are barriers that also are influencing our innovativeness. For example, I know we are supporting a project for new Nordic food, and one of our experts, he is running a restaurant in Copenhagen, and he is only using Nordic raw materials, and he says that it's almost impossible to get raw material from the other Nordic countries. He has to send his friends and family buying it and taking it in a suitcase, because there are so much import-export barriers between these countries that the food is not good when it comes to the end station. And that is very sad. And I think that is something that you have to look into also. Nordic Innovation Center, we are working, you can say, we have representative from all the Nordic countries in our offices. As you know, the Nordic cooperation has been looking very much to the east and to the Baltic Sea, but still we have also possibilities to look west, and I think that's a time that we are starting to look or maybe do more in West Nordic cooperation and projects in that field than we have been doing the last years. The focus areas, I just wanted to mention how we operate is that we have an open apply, for people can apply all year round if they have an idea, but we also take the initiative to have calls within special themes, and these are some of the focus areas we have. We have within innovation policy, which is more on the political level. We have also in regional policy, as I mentioned, that with borderless Nordic businesses. We have one in environmental technology, and also we have project within related to marine. But we have never defined the marine sector as a focus area. This is more individual projects that have been running, and from year 2000 to 2007, we have invested, and I say invested, even though we are not getting payback in otherwise and good results. We have invested 25 million Norwegian kronas. And we are only financing 50% of the project, so the total amount of money in the project for 2005 to 2007 has been around 50 million Norwegian kronas. And that's a lot. And I think if we manage to, and that is what we are trying to do, is if we manage to get a focus area within the marine project, we will benefit that we are running parallel projects within in the field. It's easier to get attention, and you have a lot of synergy effects that we are able to utilize. So we will get more for the money. So that is also something that maybe you can take with you if you are going to run projects, that define the focus and run fewer projects that are interlinked.